Good morning, everyone. Today, let's discuss a topic that's rarely addressed but widely observed: the characteristics of a foolish woman. Society often focuses on intelligence in terms of education, career, and skills, but true wisdom extends beyond that. Intelligence is about decision making, emotional maturity, and personal growth. So, what are the subtle yet telling signs of a foolish woman? Let's uncover 4 key behaviors that people rarely talk about. In today's world, where social media dominates our lives, many women unknowingly fall into the trap of seeking constant validation. They base their self-worth on how others perceive them, rather than developing a strong sense of identity. This behavior may seem harmless at first, but over time it leads to emotional dependency, insecurity, and poor decision-making. A woman who constantly seeks approval from others is easily manipulated and struggles to make choices that align with her true self. From a young age, many women are conditioned to seek approval, whether it's from parents, teachers, friends, or romantic partners. They learn that being accepted by others is a sign of success. While a certain level of validation is natural, an excessive need for it becomes damaging. Instead of trusting their own instincts and beliefs, they start relying on external opinions to feel worthy. This creates a vicious cycle where their happiness is always dependent on others. Social media has made this problem worse. Many women post pictures, status updates, and personal details just to receive likes and comments. If they don't get the response they expect, they feel rejected or unworthy. This obsession with online approval makes them prioritize appearance over authenticity. Instead of living their lives for themselves, they shape their actions and personalities based on what they think will get them the most attention. This is not intelligence. It's insecurity disguised as confidence. A foolish woman confuses validation with self-worth. She assumes that if people praise her, she is valuable, and if they ignore her, she is nothing. This makes her an easy target for people who want to control or take advantage of her. Toxic friends, manipulative partners, and even workplace bullies can easily influence her because she craves their approval. Instead of standing up for herself, she bends to their will just to feel accepted. In relationships, this behavior is particularly destructive. A woman who constantly seeks validation from her partner may become clingy, jealous, or overly dependent. She might tolerate disrespect or mistreatment just because she fears losing approval. Instead of setting healthy boundaries, she allows herself to be treated poorly, thinking that love means constantly seeking reassurance. True love, however, does not require endless approval. It thrives on mutual respect and security. The workplace is another environment where the need for validation can be damaging. A woman who seeks approval from her colleagues or boss too much may struggle to assert herself. She may hesitate to voice her opinions, fearing criticism or rejection. This can prevent her from taking leadership roles, negotiating for better pay, or standing up for her rights. A truly intelligent woman knows that confidence comes from within, not from how many people agree with her. At its core, the need for constant validation stems from a lack of self-confidence. When a woman does not trust her own decisions, she looks to others to tell her whether she is right or wrong. But intelligence means having the courage to think independently. It means knowing your worth, even when no one is clapping for you. A strong woman does not wait for approval. She validates herself through her own actions and beliefs. Breaking free from this mindset requires self-awareness and effort. Women must learn to trust themselves, embrace their unique qualities, and understand that external validation is fleeting. True confidence is built from self-respect, personal growth, and the ability to stand firm in one's beliefs. Seeking validation may seem harmless, but in reality, It is a sign of insecurity that holds women back from reaching their full potential. One of the clearest signs of a foolish woman is her inability to take responsibility for her own actions. Instead of acknowledging her mistakes and learning from them, she constantly blames others for her failures. Whether it's her parents, her friends, her partner, or even society, she refuses to accept that her choices play a major role in shaping her life. This mindset keeps her trapped in the same negative patterns, preventing her from growing into a stronger and wiser person. Blaming others may provide temporary relief from guilt, but in the long run, it only weakens a person. A woman who refuses to take accountability loses control over her own life. She convinces herself that her problems are always someone else's fault, which means she never feels the need to change. Instead of asking, "What can I do differently?" she keeps pointing fingers, which prevents her from making real progress. This behavior is especially harmful in relationships. A woman who always blames her partner for every argument or issue will struggle to maintain healthy connections. Relationships require compromise, communication, and self-reflection. If she refuses to admit her own faults, she will create a toxic cycle where the same problems keep repeating. Eventually, her relationships will suffer because no one wants to be with someone who never takes responsibility. In friendships, this attitude can also be destructive. A woman who constantly blames others for misunderstandings or conflicts will push people away. Instead of recognizing her role in the problem, she plays the victim and expects everyone else to apologize. Over time, people will begin to avoid her, realizing that she is incapable of honest self-reflection. True friendships are built on trust, accountability, and the ability to own up to mistakes. The workplace is another area where blaming others can be damaging. A foolish woman who refuses to take responsibility for her professional failures will never advance in her career. She may blame her boss for not giving her opportunities, her co-workers for making her job difficult, or the system for being unfair. While external challenges do exist, a wise woman finds ways to adapt and improve rather than making excuses. Taking ownership of one's actions is a key trait of success. This mindset also affects personal growth. A woman who refuses to acknowledge her mistakes will never learn from them. Instead of seeing failures as lessons, she sees them as proof that the world is against her. This creates a victim mentality where she believes she has no power over her own life. But in reality, every mistake is an opportunity to grow, and every failure is a chance to become better. The sooner she realizes this, the sooner she can break free from the cycle of blame. Another major issue with blaming others is that it damages self-respect. When a woman constantly shifts blame, she is essentially admitting that she has no control over her own life. She gives her power away to others, making herself weak and dependent. A truly intelligent woman understands that she is responsible for her choices, actions, and outcomes. By taking responsibility, she builds inner strength and gains the ability to shape her own future. Ultimately, refusing to take accountability leads to a life of stagnation. Instead of progressing and evolving, a woman who blames others remains stuck in the same problems, repeating the same mistakes. True wisdom comes from self-awareness, and self-awareness begins with accepting responsibility. A woman who learns to own her actions will always be more powerful than one who plays the victim. A foolish woman places more importance on appearances, status, and material possessions rather than developing her character, intelligence, and skills. She believes that beauty, expensive clothes, or social popularity define her worth, failing to realize that true value comes from within. While there is nothing wrong with taking care of one's appearance or enjoying nice things, an obsession with superficiality often leads to an empty and unfulfilled life. Women who prioritize superficial aspects often spend excessive time and energy trying to maintain a perfect image. They are overly concerned with how others perceive them and will go to great lengths to impress people, even at the cost of their authenticity. Instead of focusing on developing meaningful qualities like kindness, resilience, or wisdom, they invest all their efforts in being admired for their looks or social status. This makes them fragile because their sense of self-worth is based on things that can easily fade or change. Social media has amplified this issue, making many women believe that looking perfect is more important than being intelligent or capable. They measure their worth by the number of likes, followers, and compliments they receive rather than their personal achievements or contributions to society. Instead of pursuing knowledge, improving their skills, or working toward their goals, they spend endless hours curating the perfect image online. This creates a false sense of confidence which crumbles the moment they stop receiving attention. A foolish woman also prioritizes material wealth over personal growth. She may believe that having designer clothes, luxury cars, or an expensive lifestyle automatically makes her superior. However, material possessions are temporary and do not define a person's true worth. Intelligence, integrity, and emotional strength are far more valuable than any brand name handbag or flashy accessory. A wise woman understands that external wealth is meaningless without inner richness. In relationships, this mindset can be extremely damaging. A woman who values superficial qualities may choose partners based on wealth, looks, or status rather than character and compatibility. She might be drawn to men who can provide her with a luxurious lifestyle rather than those who treat her with respect and kindness. This often leads to toxic relationships where she is valued only for her appearance, not for who she truly is. Eventually, she may realize that a life built on shallow foundations lacks real love and happiness. This obsession with superficiality can also harm friendships. A foolish woman may only associate with people who enhance her social status, ignoring those who offer genuine support and loyalty. She might judge others based on their fashion choices, financial background, or popularity instead of their values and personality. This makes her relationships shallow and transactional, preventing her from forming deep, meaningful connections that truly enrich life. Even in professional settings, prioritizing appearance over competence can be limiting. A woman who focuses solely on looking attractive or gaining attention rather than developing her skills and work ethic will struggle to gain long-term success. While confidence and presentation are important, they cannot replace intelligence, dedication, and expertise. A truly wise woman understands that long-term success comes from ability and effort, not just from looking the part. Ultimately, a life built on superficiality is unfulfilling. No matter how beautiful or wealthy a woman may be, if she lacks wisdom, kindness, and purpose, she will never find true happiness. External beauty fades, trends change, and material possessions can be lost, but personal growth, intelligence, and strong character remain. A woman who chooses to focus on substance rather than superficiality will always be more powerful, independent, and respected in the long run. One of the greatest signs of a foolish woman is her inability or refusal to learn from her mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, it is a natural part of life. However, what separates wise individuals from foolish ones is the ability to reflect on those mistakes, take responsibility, and make better choices moving forward. A woman who keeps repeating the same errors without learning from them is setting herself up for a cycle of failure, disappointment, and frustration. A foolish woman often ignores red flags and warnings, choosing instead to make impulsive or reckless decisions. Whether it's in relationships, finances, career choices, or personal habits, she refuses to acknowledge when she is making a mistake. Instead of stepping back and evaluating where she went wrong, she keeps making the same poor choices, expecting a different outcome each time. This lack of self-awareness prevents her from growing into a stronger and wiser person. In relationships, this pattern can be particularly destructive. A woman who does not learn from past mistakes may repeatedly find herself in toxic relationships. She might date the same type of manipulative, emotionally unavailable, or disrespectful men, believing that things will be different each time. Instead of recognizing the unhealthy patterns and working on herself, she blames bad luck or external circumstances, failing to take control of her own happiness. This behavior extends beyond relationships and affects other areas of life, such as career and finances. A woman who continually makes poor financial decisions, spending recklessly, failing to save, or ignoring important responsibilities will struggle to achieve long-term stability. Instead of learning from past financial struggles and making smarter choices, she continues to repeat the same mistakes, often blaming others for her financial difficulties. True intelligence requires adapting and improving, not staying stuck in harmful cycles. A foolish woman may also repeat social mistakes, pushing away friends and loved ones because she refuses to change toxic behaviors. If she constantly engages in gossip, dishonesty, or disrespectful behavior, she may find herself losing important relationships. Instead of reflecting on how her actions contributed to these conflicts, she blames others and refuses to take responsibility. This prevents her from developing meaningful, long-lasting connections with people who truly care about her. Another major issue with failing to learn from mistakes is the impact on personal growth. A woman who does not learn from her failures will struggle to evolve into a better version of herself. Life is a continuous journey of learning and self-improvement, and those who refuse to adapt remain stagnant. A wise woman embraces her mistakes as opportunities to grow, while a foolish woman sees them as things to be ignored or denied. This mindset of refusing to learn from mistakes also affects mental and emotional well-being. When a woman repeatedly makes poor choices without change, she often experiences stress, anxiety, and unhappiness. She may feel stuck, blaming the world for her problems rather than looking within for solutions. By refusing to take control of her actions and decisions, she creates unnecessary suffering for herself. True happiness and peace come from self-awareness, accountability, and a willingness to improve. Ultimately, a woman who does not learn from her mistakes is limiting her potential. She is choosing to remain in the same place, rather than moving forward and evolving. Every mistake in life carries a lesson, but only those who are willing to listen, reflect, and change will benefit from them. A truly intelligent woman understands that growth comes from learning, adapting, and making better choices each day. Many people assume that intelligence is measured by academic success, degrees, or how well someone performs in school. While education is valuable, true intelligence goes far beyond just book smarts. A woman who focuses only on academic achievements but lacks wisdom, emotional control, and sound judgment is not truly intelligent. Intelligence is about making wise decisions, handling emotions maturely, and navigating life with wisdom and understanding. A foolish woman may have academic knowledge but struggle to apply it in real-life situations. She might have a degree or impressive qualifications but still make reckless choices in her personal and professional life. Intelligence is not about memorizing facts or getting good grades, it's about knowing how to use knowledge in practical ways. A woman who repeatedly makes poor decisions despite having access to information lacks true wisdom. Emotional intelligence is a key aspect of wisdom. A foolish woman allows her emotions to control her, reacting impulsively rather than thinking critically before acting. She may lash out in anger, become overly defensive, or allow jealousy and insecurity to dictate her actions. On the other hand, a wise woman understands how to regulate her emotions, communicate effectively, and handle challenges with grace. Another sign of true intelligence is the ability to adapt to different situations. A foolish woman remains rigid in her thinking, refusing to accept new perspectives or change her approach when things are not working. She may struggle to solve problems because she lacks flexibility and open-mindedness. A wise woman, however, embraces change, learns from experience, and adjusts her strategies to overcome obstacles. Decision-making is another crucial aspect of intelligence. A foolish woman makes impulsive choices without considering the long-term consequences. She may enter toxic relationships, spend money recklessly, or make career moves without thinking them through. Wise women, on the other hand, evaluate their options carefully, seek advice when needed, and make choices that benefit their future rather than just satisfying short-term desires. A truly intelligent woman also knows the importance of self-awareness. She takes time to reflect on her thoughts, actions, and motivations. A foolish woman, however, lacks introspection and refuses to acknowledge her own flaws. Instead of growing from her experiences, she remains stuck in the same habits, blaming others for her problems. Self-awareness allows a person to recognize weaknesses and actively work on improving them. Interpersonal intelligence is another factor that sets wise women apart. A foolish woman struggles with social interactions because she lacks empathy and understanding. She may speak without thinking, hurt others with her words, or fail to recognize how her behavior affects those around her. A wise woman, however, understands human nature and knows how to navigate relationships with kindness, respect, and tact. Ultimately, intelligence is not just about how much knowledge a woman has, it's about how she applies it in everyday life. A truly wise woman makes informed decisions, controls her emotions, adapts to challenges, and treats others with understanding. Academic success alone does not define intelligence. It is the ability to think critically, act wisely, and continue growing as a person that truly matters. A wise woman understands that her worth is not determined by external validation, material possessions, or societal expectations. She recognizes that her value comes from within her character, intelligence, resilience, and the way she carries herself. Unlike a foolish woman who constantly seeks approval from others, a wise woman does not allow anyone else to define her self-worth. She stands firm in her beliefs and decisions, knowing that she does not need permission to be confident in who she is. One of the key traits of a wise woman is her ability to set boundaries. She does not allow people to take advantage of her kindness, nor does she tolerate disrespect. She knows that saying no is not a sign of weakness, but a form of self-respect. A foolish woman, on the other hand, often compromises her values just to please others, fearing rejection or judgment. A woman who truly understands her worth never sacrifices her dignity for temporary approval. A wise woman also values her time and energy. She does not waste them on meaningless gossip, toxic relationships, or unproductive activities. She surrounds herself with people who uplift and inspire her, rather than those who drain her energy. She invests her time in things that contribute to her personal growth, whether it be learning new skills, pursuing her passions, or working toward her goals. She understands that time is one of her most valuable assets and refuses to squander it on things that do not serve her purpose. In relationships, a woman who knows her value does not settle for less than she deserves. She understands that love should be built on respect, trust, and mutual effort. She does not tolerate mistreatment, dishonesty, or manipulation, because she knows she is worthy of genuine love and kindness. A foolish woman, however, may stay in unhealthy relationships out of fear of being alone, thinking that any love is better than none. A wise woman would rather be alone than be in a relationship that diminishes her worth. A wise woman also embraces her individuality. She does not feel the need to compare herself to others or compete for attention. She understands that her journey is unique, and she focuses on her own progress rather than trying to meet unrealistic standards. Instead of envying others, she is inspired by their success and uses it as motivation to become better. She does not feel threatened by other women, she supports them, knowing that another person's success does not take away from her own. She also knows the importance of self-care mentally, emotionally, and physically. She prioritizes her well-being, understanding that she cannot pour from an empty cup. She takes time to rest, reflect, and nurture herself without feeling guilty about it. A foolish woman, on the other hand, often neglects her own needs in an attempt to please others, eventually burning out and feeling unfulfilled. A wise woman recognizes that self-care is not selfish, it is necessary. Another defining quality of a wise woman is her ability to walk away from situations that do not serve her. Whether it's a toxic friendship, an unfulfilling job, or a draining environment, she does not cling to things that diminish her happiness and growth. She understands that letting go is sometimes necessary for her well-being. A foolish woman, however, may hold on to negativity out of fear, comfort, or attachment, even when she knows it is not good for her. Ultimately, a wise woman carries herself with confidence and self-respect. She does not need constant reassurance because she already knows who she is and what she brings to the table. She understands that her value is not determined by others' opinions, but by how she views herself. She does not seek validation, she validates herself through her actions, choices, and the way she treats herself and others. A wise woman understands that making mistakes is a natural part of life, but what truly defines her character is her ability to own up to them. She does not shy away from responsibility or shift the blame onto others. Instead, she acknowledges when she is wrong, reflects on what went wrong, and takes steps to improve. Owning up to mistakes is a sign of emotional intelligence, maturity, and strength, qualities that separate a wise woman from a foolish one. One of the key benefits of taking responsibility is personal growth. A woman who admits her mistakes can learn valuable lessons that help her avoid making the same errors in the future. She sees mistakes as opportunities to grow rather than as failures that define her. On the other hand, a foolish woman refuses to acknowledge her faults, which keeps her stuck in a cycle of repeating the same poor decisions. Growth is impossible without self-awareness and accountability. Owning up to mistakes also builds trust in relationships. Whether in friendships, family dynamics, or romantic partnerships, people respect those who can admit when they are wrong. A woman who takes responsibility for her actions shows that she values honesty and integrity. Conversely, a woman who constantly makes excuses or shifts blame creates tension and distrust. Over time, people will hesitate to rely on her or take her words seriously. In professional settings, taking accountability is a sign of leadership and competence. A woman who can admit mistakes at work and take corrective action earns the respect of colleagues and superiors. She demonstrates that she is willing to learn, improve, and contribute positively to the team. A foolish woman, however, may try to cover up her errors, make excuses, or blame others, which can damage her reputation and limit her opportunities for advancement. Another important aspect of owning up to mistakes is self-respect. A woman who acknowledges her flaws and works on improving them develops a strong sense of confidence. She does not let pride or fear prevent her from admitting when she is wrong. She understands that true strength lies in being honest with herself and taking steps to become a better person. On the other hand, a foolish woman who refuses to admit her faults often lives in denial, preventing her from making meaningful progress in life. Owning up to mistakes also helps in resolving conflicts. When a woman is willing to acknowledge her role in a misunderstanding or disagreement, she creates space for open communication and healing. Apologizing sincerely and making amends shows emotional maturity and a willingness to maintain healthy relationships. A foolish woman, however, will argue, deny, or deflect blame, which only escalates conflicts and damages connections with others. A woman who takes responsibility for her mistakes also becomes a role model for those around her. Whether as a friend, sister, mother, or mentor, she sets an example of accountability and integrity. She teaches others that mistakes do not define a person, but how they handle them does. A foolish woman, on the other hand, sets a poor example by refusing to accept responsibility, encouraging a mindset of avoidance and dishonesty. Ultimately, owning up to mistakes is a sign of wisdom, humility, and strength. A woman who embraces her imperfections and uses them as stepping stones to growth is far more powerful than one who pretends to be perfect. She understands that accountability is not about shame, but about learning, evolving, and becoming the best version of herself. A truly wise woman understands that depth in character is far more valuable than surface-level qualities such as beauty, popularity, or material possessions. While outer appearance and social status may attract attention, it is a person's integrity, kindness, and wisdom that leave a lasting impact. A woman who focuses on developing her character rather than simply looking good or impressing others builds a strong foundation for a fulfilling and meaningful life. Depth in character means having a strong sense of self, guided by values, morals, and principles. A woman with depth does not change who she is just to fit in or gain approval. She stands firm in her beliefs and remains authentic, even when faced with challenges. In contrast, a woman who lacks depth may constantly seek validation from others, changing her opinions and behavior just to be accepted, which ultimately leads to insecurity and dissatisfaction. A woman with depth prioritizes honesty and integrity in all aspects of her life. She does not manipulate or deceive others for personal gain. Her words and actions align with her values, making her a person of trust and respect. A woman who lacks depth, however, may rely on lies, exaggeration, or deception to maintain an illusion of success or perfection. Over time, this behavior erodes her credibility and weakens her relationships. Depth in character also means being emotionally intelligent. A wise woman understands how to manage her emotions, handle conflict maturely, and empathize with others. She does not react impulsively or let anger, jealousy, or insecurity control her actions. Instead, she takes time to reflect before responding and approaches difficult situations with wisdom. A woman who lacks depth often acts based on emotions alone, making rash decisions that lead to unnecessary problems. Having depth in character also means valuing personal growth and self-improvement. A wise woman continuously seeks to learn, evolve, and become better. She understands that growth is a lifelong journey and embraces challenges as opportunities for self-discovery. On the other hand, a woman who lacks depth remains stagnant, refusing to challenge herself or step outside her comfort zone. She may be content with superficial achievements but lacks the ambition to grow as a person. Another sign of depth in character is the ability to build meaningful relationships. A woman with depth attracts genuine connections because she values authenticity and mutual respect. She does not engage in gossip, competition, or shallow friendships based on status. Instead, she surrounds herself with people who inspire and uplift her. A woman without depth, however, may only seek friendships for attention, social benefits, or personal gain, leading to hollow and unfulfilling relationships. A woman with depth also understands the importance of humility. She does not feel the need to boast about her accomplishments or put others down to feel superior. She recognizes that true confidence comes from within, not from external validation. A woman who lacks depth may constantly seek praise and recognition, believing that her worth depends on how others perceive her. This mindset makes her fragile, as her self-esteem fluctuates based on external opinions. Ultimately, depth in character defines a person's true worth. Beauty fades, material wealth can be lost, and social status is temporary, but a strong character remains. A wise woman focuses on building a foundation of integrity, wisdom, and emotional strength, knowing that these qualities will serve her throughout life. In contrast, a woman who prioritizes superficiality over depth may find herself feeling empty and unfulfilled, no matter how much external success she achieves. True growth begins with self-reflection. A wise woman understands that in order to improve, she must take the time to look inward and evaluate her thoughts, actions, and decisions. Self-reflection allows her to recognize both her strengths and weaknesses, helping her make intentional changes that lead to personal development. Without self-reflection, a person remains stagnant, repeating the same mistakes and never truly evolving. Self-reflection helps a woman gain clarity about her goals, values, and purpose. Life can be filled with distractions and pressures that pull people in different directions, but when a woman takes the time to reflect, she can realign herself with what truly matters. She begins to understand what brings her fulfillment and what is simply a societal expectation or temporary desire. This clarity helps her make decisions that are in line with her true self, rather than being influenced by external pressures. Another important aspect of self-reflection is accountability. A woman who practices self-reflection does not blame others for her problems or failures. Instead, she takes responsibility for her actions and choices. She understands that blaming circumstances or people only prevents her from growing. A foolish woman, on the other hand, refuses to reflect on her role in negative situations, which keeps her trapped in a cycle of repeating the same mistakes. Self-reflection also helps in emotional growth. Many people react impulsively to situations without fully understanding their emotions. A wise woman takes time to examine her feelings and responses, asking herself why she reacts a certain way. This allows her to develop emotional intelligence, which helps her navigate conflicts, relationships, and personal struggles with greater wisdom and control. A woman who lacks self-reflection, however, may let her emotions control her, leading to unnecessary drama and conflict. One of the most powerful benefits of self-reflection is learning from past experiences. Life teaches valuable lessons, but only if a person is willing to acknowledge them. A woman who takes time to reflect on her past choices, both good and bad, gains insights that help her make better decisions in the future. A foolish woman, however, refuses to analyze her past, often making the same poor choices repeatedly, expecting different results. Self-reflection also plays a critical role in personal relationships. A woman who reflects on her interactions with others can identify areas where she may need to improve, whether it's becoming a better listener, communicating more effectively, or being more patient. This awareness allows her to build stronger, healthier relationships. On the other hand, a woman who never reflects may continue having the same relationship problems without understanding why. Growth requires stepping outside of one's comfort zone, and self-reflection is the first step in that process. A wise woman is not afraid to ask herself difficult questions. Am I living up to my potential? Am I making choices that align with my values? What areas of my life need improvement? By facing these questions honestly, she challenges herself to grow. A woman who avoids self-reflection, however, may remain in situations that no longer serve her, simply because she is unwilling to confront hard truths. Ultimately, self-reflection is the foundation of personal transformation. A woman who consistently takes time to analyze her actions, emotions, and decisions will continue to evolve into a better version of herself. She embraces growth, knowing that self-awareness is the key to improvement. On the other hand, a woman who ignores the need for reflection may find herself stuck in the same patterns, unable to progress in life. Strength is not just about physical power, it is about resilience, confidence, and the ability to navigate life's challenges with wisdom and determination. A strong woman is not born overnight, she is built through experiences, hardships, and the choices she makes in response to adversity. She understands that strength is not about never falling, but about rising every time she does. Becoming a strong woman requires self-awareness, discipline, and the courage to stand firm in one's beliefs and values. One of the most defining traits of a strong woman is self-sufficiency. She does not rely on others to validate her worth or make decisions for her. While she values relationships and support, she understands that true strength comes from within. A weak woman, on the other hand, depends on external validation, whether from friends, family, or a partner, to feel complete. A strong woman builds her own life and does not wait for someone else to define her happiness. Resilience is another key characteristic of a strong woman. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable, but a strong woman does not allow setbacks to break her. Instead, she views failures as lessons and hardships as opportunities for growth. When faced with disappointment, she does not dwell in self-pity or give up. She finds ways to adapt, overcome, and move forward, knowing that every difficulty is a stepping stone to greater wisdom and strength. A strong woman also has the ability to set and enforce boundaries. She does not allow others to take advantage of her kindness or manipulate her into doing things that go against her values. She understands that saying no is not selfish but necessary for self-respect. Weak women often struggle with setting boundaries because they fear rejection or confrontation. A strong woman, however, prioritizes her well-being and refuses to tolerate toxic relationships, no matter how much she cares about someone. Confidence is another defining trait of a strong woman. She knows her worth and does not seek constant approval from others. She carries herself with self-assurance, understanding that she does not need to be perfect to be valuable. A weak woman, on the other hand, constantly questions her abilities, compares herself to others, and allows insecurities to dictate her actions. A strong woman embraces her strengths and weaknesses, knowing that true confidence comes from self-acceptance. Independence also plays a crucial role in becoming a strong woman. This does not mean rejecting help or isolating oneself, but rather having the ability to make decisions and stand on one's own feet. A strong woman is financially, emotionally, and mentally independent. She does not stay in unhealthy situations out of fear of being alone. She knows that she has the ability to create her own path, and she takes charge of her own life. Another essential quality of a strong woman is emotional control. She does not allow emotions to dictate her reactions or cloud her judgment. She understands that while feelings are natural, they must be managed wisely. Instead of responding with anger, jealousy, or impulsivity, she takes the time to process her emotions and make rational decisions. A weak woman, however, may act based on emotions alone, leading to unnecessary drama and regret. Ultimately, becoming a strong woman is a lifelong journey. It requires constant self-reflection, growth, and the willingness to face challenges head on. A strong woman does not wait for someone to save her or change her circumstances. She takes responsibility for her own life. Through resilience, confidence, and determination, she builds a life of purpose, fulfillment, and self-respect.